is about books, just kind of books review in general. There will be timestamps below if you want to get to any of those. I will have a section for melt and pour, cold process, a little bit on liquid soap, and then some additional free resources of where you can find recipes if you're looking for recipes outside of course, my YouTube channel. I share lots of free recipes, so I hope you subscribe and watch some of the videos. I do cold process, melt and pour, and I have one liquid soap video, but I plan on making a few more for you guys. So let's first start off with, I just want to kind of give a little warning to everybody, what you need to know before you buy. I just want to remind everybody that with this day and age, I know this sounds silly to have to even say this, but just watch out for scammers, especially if you're buying books online, if you're buying books that are digital downloads from the Kindle store, or to your Kindle, I mean. Just make sure you read the reviews, because I have been seeing things like this in my soap making groups more and more frequently, and it's not necessarily just this one that I share the screenshots of. I have seen it from a couple different basically book writers. As you can see, they kind of, in the comments, people point out a couple ways that they can scam you or make it look like it's a legit book. A lot of these books are written by AI, unfortunately. That's just the way people are going. They're lazy. They don't want to do the research homework. They don't have the knowledge of it, but they think, hey, I can make some quick bucks if I use AI. And there's other ways that they can scam you out of your money. So just make sure that you read reviews. I wouldn't trust anything that hasn't been up there for a couple months. If you're skeptical, just go on one of the Facebook groups and ask, has anybody had this? What's your honest opinion? People will tell you. So let's do first the best books for melt and pour. These I have not used, but I have this question. I see the same question over and over, so I don't mean to call anybody out in these videos. It's just what I see. Somebody was, anyone know of any soap making books that teach us how to make soap without lye? For beginners, please. You cannot make soap without lye. There was people in the comments kind of saying like you might want to do a little bit more research. It is true that when you're making melt and pour, I always use this analogy. You are basically making like a box cake version of cake. Okay, you're not making cake from scratch. You have like a base ingredient, and then you add all the stuff you want to it. You'll add the frosting to it. You'll add the sprinkles to it. Stuff like that. That is what melt and pour is. I don't mean to knock anyone that does it, because I make melt and pour soap. It's not how I started making soap, but it is fun, and it is, I would say, less dangerous. So if you want to go that route, go ahead. I know a lot of people are intimidated by lye, but honestly, lye is not something to be scared of. You just need to, you know, be cautious when you use it, but I digress. Here are two soap making books that I found from Kelly Cable. A lot of people said these books were really great. However, I did notice that there was a couple comments that the information was very redundant. So you might want to keep an eye out for that. But I did notice on the reviews that there was good pictures in these, that it was easy step by step, great to follow. One book, I believe it's the soap making book, the soap making book on the left. That one said that had a lot of repetitive information. I think that's maybe a new updated version of a book. I don't think she's necessarily rewrote all the stuff to it. The next one we have is Easy Melt and Pour Soaps. This is one that I've seen pop up again and again. I've seen it for resale, so you can probably find it at a resale shop too. That's another place that I personally look for books. I don't necessarily buy them new online. I only have a handful of books anyways, but this one also got very good reviews. It's by Jamberry, so I would definitely recommend this one. There was another book that I've seen so many times that I cannot find it, so if you know any melt and pour soap books, drop a comment below. This one had a lot of pictures. People said that it was packed with ideas for beginners. There was a couple negative reviews on this. I guess the overall way that the book looked, people didn't like. And some people said that the Glycerin Soap Making book by Rose Michaels could be condensed down into less pages. That's exactly what I saw repeated again and again throughout the reviews. Again, I don't have this particular book, but it would be one that I would probably be interested in buying just based on the cover. But I personally don't think it's much of a need to buy glycerin soap making books. I will give you more resources at the end. And like I said, I have a lot of free resources on my channel. The next one that I'm going to recommend, these are for cold process soap makers. I'm not going to recommend a ton of them. There are tons and tons and tons of books, but my personal favorite is this Pure Soap Making by Anne Marie. She is the soap queen. If you've been on brambleberry.com or watched Soap Queen videos, I think all of her instructions are very detailed. She also has I think she has like 3 or 4 books now. So I also put the soap crafting one in there. These are going to teach you everything from beginner level recipes all the way to expert levels. And the books that I have by Anne Marie, I do not have the soap crafting one, but I have 2 other books from her. They do give step-by-step instructions. They give intermediate. The only thing I do not like about her books is some of them use way too many ingredients. So you have to end up buying a lot of like weird random ingredients. Like she'll use mango butter, where a lot of books will just use shea butter. You know, it's not crazy, it's not unheard of, but she'll pull a lot of more unique ingredients so you understand how to work with them. A lot of times she talks about what makes the ingredients unique. So her books are packed with knowledge. You will learn something. This is a book I'm recommending only because it's Soap Making It, Enjoying It by Anne Bramson. I do have another video on this book specifically. It's like one of the first videos I uploaded to YouTube years and years ago. I am updating this just because I found this at a used bookstore. I paid like less than $1 for it. I would say I wouldn't spend more than $5 for this book. But what I do want to say is it has no pictures. It explains on a very fundamental, very easy way how to make soaps, how to troubleshoot any problems that you have in soaps. I did learn a lot from this book. The thing though, that some of the information is somewhat outdated. I think this is written in like the 70s or 80s. So I don't want to say that it's bad information because it still applies, but we've basically progressed as a soap making community and we know ways around some of the stuff she teaches. But again, if you are a beginner, it's honestly a good way to start is with this book. Another soap making book, I don't have this one, however I'm going to buy it because the reviews are amazing and I like making liquid soap. It's Liquid Soap Making by Jaxie Thompson. The pictures in the book look nice from what I could see online, and also she had a lot of reviews. The only negative reviews is like this one listed below where it says it's complicated. So if you are making liquid soap, do not think you can start with liquid making soap. I'm just going to say that. If you want to, you're very, very, very ambitious. However, it is almost an all-day process, or at least it is when I did it. If you want to learn a little bit more, I do have a video on that. It has a recipe. It's not my recipe, but you can pull it up and you can kind of basically use that recipe and see if it's something you like. But you have to be cooking the soap all day. So if you think you're just going to get into it and be like, oh, this is easy, this makes sense. Honestly, if you don't have any foundation in soap making, it is going to be very overwhelming. I can just tell you that. It doesn't matter who wrote the book. Okay, so this is other places where you can find recipes. This is a magazine, and there are lots of magazines. I have the Soap Making Willow Sage is the name of the magazine is Willow Sage. I forget the name of the company that prints these, but anyway, you can search Willow Sage and I'm sure it'll come up somewhere. They do all kinds of recipes. It's not just soap making. There is a lot of melt and pour soap making though in there. And a lot of it is basically like people who read the magazine can submit to be in the magazine. So they do a lot of the recipes that way. Sometimes you do have to check the recipes though. I would not say this is a foolproof place to get recipes from because I have found recipes in here where you run them through the soap calculator and they're not correct. I apologize, my son is having a good time in the background here. Anyway, you have to check them through the soap calculator, so they're not always accurate. Some of the information too is not the best information, but if you want recipes, they're pretty good. The magazine itself is quite pricey. There is also another soap maker that used to, I'm trying to think of my words, not soap maker. A soap resource used to be Wholesale Supplies Plus. They used to have their own magazines. I have a few magazines by them, but I think they discontinued printing them. But they do have all the resources online. There are free recipes to you. You can just go, and they have melt and pour, they have cold process recipes, they have candle recipes. Again, it's everything. Same with Brambleberry. I'm going to go ahead and put them on the list. They have everything. Most soap supply places where you can buy your soap supplies do have a resource center with tons and tons and tons of recipes. Of course, they're going to give you these for free because they want you to learn how to do the craft, and they want you to buy more of their stuff, okay? So I don't want you to think that you have to buy a book to basically learn how to make soap. You don't. There are tons of free resources. If you like this video and this type of content, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and like the video. If you learned something today, I love it when you like the video. And if you have a book or soap recipe resource that you want to put down, either a website, a blog, a book, I don't care if it's yours or somebody else's, just leave a comment down below because it helps the community and we can all share and learn from each other. Thank you.